So we started with that question: what is a short story? Okay. Short story is a story with a full developed theme, but significantly shorter and less elaborate than a novel. Okay. So short story will have a theme, but it will not be long like a novel. Okay. And elaborated, short, less elaborated than novel. And what is the count of a short story? And the general practice is 5,000 to 10,000 words. Yes, but it can also be, novella will be 10,000, more than 10,000. But short story can also be 500 words also. Even it can be 500 words. It can be 5,000 words. It can be 7,000 words. It can be 10,000 words. Even it can be 500 words. But it will have a theme. Short story will have a theme. Theme, what is the theme? We will coming sure to know that what is the theme. The structure of a short story can abbreviate it in such a way that is A, B, D, C, E. A stands for action, B stands for background, D stands for development, C stands for climax, and E stands for ending. So this will be the components that we'll have in a short story. So short story will have a theme, short story will have an action, short story will have a background, and short story will have a climax. And also there will be an ending of a short story. That would be the characters. Okay. And if we divide the short story in two broad division, what would be the division? That is, the first is the plot. Plot we have learned. Plot means, what is the definition of plot? Plot is story. Okay. But everybody can tell a story. Okay. In a short story there will be a plot, and plot will be the artistic arrangement of a story. Write down, artistic arrangement of a story. And some other components will be there in short story, that are protagonist, antagonist, conflict, setting. Okay, so everything will be there. So theme will be there, background will be there, climax will be there, plot will be there, and also protagonist will be there, antagonist will be there, and setting will be there. Okay, so everything we will see in a short story. Okay, and in case of a short story, the first thing that can also be called exposition. Exposition. So if we tell the 5 important structure of a short story, first thing will be exposition. What is that? Second one is rising action. Rising action. Third one is climax. Fourth one is falling action. And fifth one is resolution or conclusion or denouement. Yes, denouement. Okay, that would be the characteristics. Okay.
What is exposition?
Yeah, I will. Exposition. Look here. Exposition is the literary device that is used to introduce the setting, characters, and the plot of the story. So at the very beginning of a short story, we will understand that what are the characters, in which place the story is written or told, and there will be a plot. Plot, that means the artistic arrangement of the story. That which one will be told first, which incident will be told serially and chronologically. So exposition will be introducing you the characters, setting, and the plot. Okay, and also background, and what is the subject matter. That means exposition can be compared with introduction of an essay. Okay, in case of introduction of an essay, we have understood that background will be there, thesis statement will be there, the other component will be there. In such a way, in a short story, we will have the setting, the characters, the background at the initial stage of a short story, and that is called exposition. And another thing is, that is the rising action. Rising action. Okay. All the events that happen in a short story on a way to climax. Rising action, that means after getting the introduction of the characters, the story will go up towards the final problems. Final problems, that means the peak problems. What is the problem of the short story? Every story, the storyline, there will be a problem and there will be a solution. But what is the main problem? Main problem will be the up. The story will be going on. So the rising action will move the short story towards the climax. Climax, that means main problem or the main complex situation of the story. Why the complex situation? Complex situation may be someone may fall in trap, someone may be caught by someone else, someone may got attacked. Okay, so that is the climax. So everything will going forward to the final problem of the short story. That is the rising action. Okay, and also climax. What is the climax then? Climax, that is the highest point of the narrative where the tension, excitement, shakes reach the highest level. Okay, what will going on? Okay, every reader will think that what will going on next. The final situation, the final tension and excitement of the story. So every story will involve a problem or involve a critical situation. Okay, so that is the final situation we have got, that every problem are entangled. Okay, so the characters, the settings and everything will be in a serious problem, and up to the serious problem, the final serious problem can be called the climax. Okay, and after the climax we will have falling action. Falling action, that means we have got the problem and then we will going to the solution of the problem. So in the falling action, naturally we are getting indication that what is the answer of the problem, what is the answer of the solution, what is the solution of the problem we are facing in the short story. Okay, and finally the resolution. Resolution will answer what the result, who is responsible for the problem, what is the answer of the problem, what is the solution of the problem we have faced in that short story. Okay, so that resolution can also be called conclusion. Okay, so why the situation create, who is responsible, why the protagonist is in problem. Okay, every question will be answered in resolution. So that portion can also be called resolution, conclusion, or in another word that is called denouement. Pronunciation is, the pronunciation is a French word, that is the unnoting. Unnoting, note means tied together, গিরাবাঁধা. Okay, এই রেজুলেশনে এসে সেটাকে সমস্ত প্রশ্নের আমরা উত্তর পেয়ে যাব, এই জন্য that can also be called denouement. Denouement is a French word and the meaning is unnoting. That means we will get the answer of all question in the final stage of the short story. So resolution can also be called calculation and also be called denote. Okay, these are the, and we started with another thing. These are the structure of a short story. But every story there will have a theme. What is the theme of this short story? Okay, so what is the theme? Theme is the underlying message under the guidance. Suppose we have learned about Aesop's fable, isn't it? Aesop's fable, every Aesop's fable will have a message, a moral. Okay, in the same way, every short story will convey a message, underlying message. There will be a story, but under the story, the writer, the short story writer wants to convey an underlying message. That underlying message or that underlying idea, or it can be called the big idea, that is the theme of the short story. We are going to study a short story written by Catherine Mansfield. The writer name of the short story is The Garden Party. So there will of course a theme of this short story, that is Garden Party. Okay. Apart from the theme, there will be the main character, that is protagonist. Okay. Protagonist will be there. Protagonist is the main character. We will see many characters in a short story. Is it 10, 20? Among the 10 or 20 characters, one character is the main character, and that main character is involved in the central action, and that character is different from other characters. Okay, that character is different from other characters. Okay, so that main character will be involved towards the central action or the central problem of the short story. That main character is called protagonist. Okay, and in case of the Garden Party, we will have a protagonist, and apart from the protagonist, we will see another type of character, that is antagonist. In case of novel, we will have the definition of some other characters that are called round character and flat character. Round character will be changing and flat character will remain the same from the beginning to the end in case of novel. And in case of short story, we will see protagonist and antagonist. And of course the protagonist and antagonist may be flat or round character, but in case of novella, this question may not be asked. Okay, but you should know that characters will be two types, that is round character and flat character. Round character means at the beginning of the short story or the novel, that character remain very strict personality, but at the end of the short story or the novel, we will see that the character has been flexible. Okay, so first time the character was honest, second time the character was dishonest. That means he has changed. If a character changes from honesty to dishonesty, that character will be called round character. But from the beginning to the end, if the character remain dishonest or remain honest, that is called flat character. Okay, so in case of short story, we will have antagonist and protagonist. Many students, they write the answer in such a way that Laura is the protagonist character in the short story. Protagonist itself means, protagonist means main character. So protagonist character, it's not necessary to write. You have to write Laura is the protagonist of the short story. Okay, so protagonist, antagonist will be there, and there is a plot. What is the definition of a plot? A story is series of events. That means what events were told in the short story. কোন কোন গল্পগুলো বলা হয়েছে, প্রথমে কোন গল্প বলা হয়েছে, তারপরে যে কোন গল্প, তারপরে যে কোন গল্প. Okay, so which story will be told first and which story will be told secondly, that will be decided by the writer, short story writer or the novel writer. Okay, so in which way the story will be put on serial, that is called the plot. Plot will be there in a short story, of course. If আমরা সবাই তো গল্প জানি না, আমাদের গল্পটা যদি আমরা লিখে দিই সেটা একটা গল্প হবে, কিন্তু যদি শর্ট স্টোরি বা নভেল হতে হয় তাহলে অবশ্যই কোন স্টোরিটা আমরা আগে লিখব, কিভাবে শুরু করব, সেটা নিয়ে আমাদেরকে চিন্তা করতে হবে। এজন্য আমরা সাধারণ মানুষ যেভাবে লিখি সেটা হলো শর্ট স্টোরি হয় না, সেটা হয় গল্প। ওকে, কিন্তু যখন ক্যাথরিন ম্যানসফিল্ড দেখবেন বা অন্য নোভেলিস্টরা দেখবেন, তারা সেটা সুন্দরভাবে লিখতে পারে। গল্প সুন্দরভাবে লেখাটাকেই বলা হচ্ছে প্লট। সো প্লট is the artistic arrangement of the story. Okay, so plot will be there. And protagonist is the main character. Antagonist of course, but the motive, protagonist will be involved in the main action. Okay, antagonist will be less important. Protagonist একটা কথা বলছে, okay, অ্যান্টাগনিস্ট বললো যে হচ্ছে তুমি যে কথাটা বলছো আমরা সেটা চাচ্ছি না, তার মানে অপোজিট কোনো কিছু বলছে প্রোটাগনিস্ট। হ্যাঁ, লাইক ভিলেন, লাইক ভিলেন হতে পারে। হ্যাঁ, প্রোটাগনিস্ট একজন থাকতে পারে, অধিকও থাকতে পারে। গুরুত্বপূর্ণ যদি তুমি প্রমাণ করতে পারো যে তার ইনভলভমেন্ট থাম, কিন্তু বাট দ্য শর্ট স্টোরি রাইটার উইল বি রাইটিং দ্যাট ওয়ান ক্যারেক্টার ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট। ওকে, সেটাই হবে প্রোটাগনিস্ট। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ। সো অ্যান্ড দ্যাট ইজ দ্য সেটিং। হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ডেফিনেশন অফ সেটিং অফ আ setting is the time and when we will start the short story, that we will have where the story was told. কোথাকার গল্প বলা হয়েছে, গল্পটা কি বাংলাদেশে না আমেরিকা, কোথাকার গল্প বলা হয়েছে, গল্পটা কখন বলা হয়েছে। Okay, so setting will indicate the time and place of the short story. Okay, so this will be the characteristics of a short story. And the characteristics of short story, what we have discussed, that was discussed by Aristotle's Poetics and Horace Ars Poetica. Okay, I have sent you the PDF copy of these two books. If you have time, you will study the books, okay, for better understanding. So these are the short stories of these are the structure and other components of a short story. So in a short story we will have exposition or introduction, then we will have rising action, then we will have climax, then we will have fallen action, then we will have resolution or denouement or conclusion, Apart from that, we will have theme. Okay, we will have protagonist, we will have antagonist, we will have plot, we will have setting. Okay, so these are the thing we will come across in case of short